These are slate coasters I'm making for a customer, and by the end of this video, you'll know the exact settings I'm using to make these look this good. Now I'm going to walk you through the material prep that nobody talks about, the exact settings I use on my Omtech 80-watt laser, and the one trick I use to make these pop instead of looking like a bunch of gray mush. Hey, and if you're new here, my name is Brian. I run Jackalope Custom CNC and laser shop in my spare time. Run you through some tips and tricks for CNC and laser stuff, LightBurn stuff, all that good stuff. Appreciate a follow if you think any of this is worth your time. All right, the magic starts right here. UPS guy drops off a big box or multiple of these big boxes from JDS. I'll link them down in the description. I get all my slate coasters from them. I've gotten them from Amazon in the past. I just buy them in bulk at this point. Yeah, you can get them from Alibaba and all that other stuff. I just get them from JDS. It's simple, easy, couple of clicks, and they ship fairly quickly. Once they come out of those big boxes, there's a bunch of these little boxes in there, and each one of these little boxes holds 6 coasters. Those 6 coasters are individually boxed like this. And each one of these white boxes has a bubble-wrapped slate coaster in it. Now the bubble wrap is to protect the coasters. What I really like about Slate is each one of these is different. You can pick up thousands of these and no two will be alike. They're all going to be about the same size, but if you look at the edges on this guy, really cool. This guy is a little more plain. When you're selling these on the website, on your website, on Etsy, or wherever you're selling them, you want to make sure that you are actually stating that. The design will stay the same. The coaster itself is going to be different just because it's the natural state of this stone. They got booties on the bottom of it, or feet. These feet are foam. They allow them not to move around too much. Slate is a flaky rock, so these edges, you will get flakes all over the place. The edges do break off, and they're a little bit sharp. Not too sharp, but I mean, they catch on stuff. Now, a couple of questions about these. They already have a protective coating on them from JDS. If you look on the bottom, it's more matte. Top is shiny. I don't clean these at all. I take them out of the package, put them on the laser. Zero cleaning. Do not tape them. They don't need to be taped. You can burn these with a CO2, fiber, diode. Some are going to be faster than others. Some are going to have a bigger capacity than others. Doesn't really matter. Your settings are going to be different. I run a CO2. I've burned these on a diode before and they burn just fine. Now, one of the first things I want to point out here is a jig. This jig here is for all of my square coasters, and this fits the bed of my laser almost perfectly. At least the feasible cutting area. This jig allows me to put coasters in here, and then as the laser is going back and forth and cutting these, if I have another jig, I can be setting that up out there, because this is a tray. I can just pull this up and take it out, and then slide it back in and continue cutting. This frees up a lot of time, a lot of unloading and loading if you have 2 or more of these trays. How this is made is I have 2 quarter-inch sheets of plywood glued together. Initially, I cut them to the same size that fit my bed, and then the top piece that has all the cutouts in it, I designed in LightBurn and cut it out. Glued them together, making sure that the top right corner was perfect all along this side. The tops and the side here were perfectly together because this top right corner is my reference and the 0 for my laser. The home is also top right. I zero all of my material top right to the fence right here. Now this fence is nothing special. It is less than a quarter-inch melamine, I think it is, or hardboard. Actually, this is hardboard. And I have this glued to the honeycomb bed. If I ever want to take it up, I can just pop it up. It's not a big deal. The corner here is zeroed, or is my 0 point. And then it just goes along the entire route, top and part of the side. Really, for a good fence, I think you want one side as long as you can make it. That way, when you have a piece this big, you can slide it all the way up to it and then all the way over. Now, I have this fence is my 0 point. In my art library, I have, maybe I could show square coasters. So right here, if I pop that up, this is where I can, if I want to put new designs in or make a new design or whatever, this is what I put in here, and then I add all the designs in here for the coasters. We'll delete that. But I also have all of the different designs that I typically do. So this is one that I do repeatedly. Put it in here. It's already zeroed. I just have to put the coasters on here and then run this. And it's good to go. This will cut out all of these pieces like this. And you can not cut out. It's actually an engrave. All right, here are the settings everybody's been all worked up about. Set to fill, 400 speed, 35 power, no air. There's the settings, or not settings, but the setup on the laser bed itself. I do use, if I can get this over there. One thing I did forget to do was show you the advanced settings here. So these are those. Again, speed is 400, power is 35. We're at fill, bi-directional, so it'll fill in both directions. When it is moving back and forth, it will fill. Line interval is 0.1 millimeter. Lines per inch is 254. Scan angle 0. Number of passes 1. Fill all shapes at once. Now I will go back and forth between fill groups together, fill shapes individually, fill all shapes at once. When you're doing that, as it's going, it'll go back and forth and fill every single one of these. If it's doing one group at a time, if you group just this one piece or this one line, it'll do that group by itself. Shapes individually, if this is just one shape, it'll just do this and it'll go back and forth and just do that one coaster itself. This, for me in my garage, if it is cooler out where I'm not running the AC, which draws a lot of power, my garage is not on a separate circuit or anything like that. It's a separate circuit, but when the AC kicks on, it pulls the power and you will get lines in the middle of these guys when it kicks on and when it turns off and stuff like that, and I don't want that. So typically when it's hotter and I'm doing this, I will just do one at a time. And then if one of them gets screwed up, then it gets screwed up. It is what it is. But it's not ruining an entire line of these, if that makes any sense. Now, the way these are set up on here is 6 sets of 4 or 4 sets of 6. And that's how I sell the coasters too. Sets of 6, sets of 4. And we've already looked at some of the templates in the art library where it allows you to set up how the coasters are on the jig itself. And that allows you to do the 4 or 6 or for your size laser, however big that's going to be. What I really like about LightBurn and about just lasering in general is how flexible it is. LightBurn's super easy to set up. It's super easy to set up templates. I have a series on how to work through LightBurn. Not a complete series, but it's enough. You can check that out somewhere. But I try to run you through the basics of how to use the tool and how to set up things. Also, if you're interested in how to design, I also have a couple of videos about how to design too. Just check through my laser stuff. Now here's the absolute best part about having a jig set up and your job already set up on LightBurn is if you only have one jig, you could just take the coasters out of this jig. So this is the last row. You can already see I have the blanks already set up down here, so I've been doing it as we've been working. Set those off to the side, and then put your new ones in their place. Now, typically all I run these days is coasters in this laser, so it stays at a consistent height. I'm not worried about it. Yes, there are variations in the height of these coasters. You can see this one's a little bit thicker than this guy. Doesn't matter that much, or really at all. I don't give it a second thought. I put the coasters on here and run it. What I did do though was I set up my own height jig measurer, because you get those little acrylic ones when you get your laser at first. This is 100 times better because it has all your different measurements, and then you can mark on here. This is just out of 1/4 inch plywood. You can mark on here where you want different things set up. Put this on top of your coaster. I currently have mine set up at 20 millimeters. I'll actually show you that process here. This guy, and then you can measure off of the top of the coaster itself. Set that up just like that. And on these Omtex, the height adjustment is actually right here. You'd screw this in and out, but that's it. Super easy there. And then because we've already ran a job, we already have the laser set up the way that we've been running it or want to run it. Go back to your settings here on LightBurn and hit start, and it runs the same job again. Now imagine if you had 2 of these plywood jigs that we've been talking about. Now if you had 2 of those, while this one's running, you're over on the other side of the shop setting up the other jig, taking the coasters off of it and putting new coasters on it. That way you can just constantly revolve them. You have the fence set up, so you just line everything up against the fence. If you want to know more about a fence for your laser, I have a video about that. You can check it out. Hit go and just keep repeating. I broke my other jig, so I only have the one. Not that big of a deal. I'll make another one sooner or later. Some other ingredients that make all of this come together for the customer is bubble wrap. Now I buy bubble wrap in bulk, these big rolls here. They tear off in 12 by 12 sheets, or at least they should. This one's preparation is sorely lacking, so it's ripping a little bit. Not the end of the world. It's just to protect the coasters when they're in their box. And that's the other thing, is these cardboard boxes. They come flat. You have to build them yourself. Once they're built, they look like a box, and they open just like that. These are 5 by 5 by 3. I'll link all this stuff in the description below. I got this size because these will hold both 6 and 4 sets of coasters. The sets of 6 fit these perfectly. The sets of 4 require an extra layer of bubble wrap on top of them. Not a big deal, not a huge extra cost, but I don't have multiple sets of different size boxes lying around the shop. I use one set for all of them, or one size. Other thing too is custom stickers. I have a thermal printer that I print all my shipping labels on, and I use those to print these. I bought the special size for my Brother thermal printer. I know there are other thermal printers out there that you can use, that you can get different sizes for, so don't think it has to be the Brother or the P-Touch or whatever I'm using. But I was able to design this, or get this design into the printing software and then print these off, and I print them off in bulk, and then I'm able to customize my boxes for relatively nothing. It is extremely cheap to do this, so food for thought. There's your pro tip for the day. How about that? All right, so this one actually rips a little bit better. Much better. So I told you I'd give you the secret sauce on what I do to make these pop so much. Nothing. I don't do anything. I take these straight off the laser and throw them in the bubble wrap and throw them in a box. That's all I do. Now you might be saying to yourself,
well, Brian, I hear that all these people are saying you need to put a spray coat on top of them. You need to finish them in a certain way. You need to clean them after you take them off.
Look, there's nothing on there. Clean. It's a rock. You're literally going to be putting stuff on a rock. What happens when a rock gets wet? It gets a little bit darker, and then it dries, right? Now, slate is a porous material. It's going to absorb that water. It's not going to affect it. I've been doing this for 5 years and have had 0 issues. No complaints, no returns, no nothing. You want them to look different, you can spray some clear coat on them or whatever. That's fine. Make them extra shiny. I don't do anything to these. I bubble wrap them, put them in a box, mail them out. 0 issues. Anyway, the way I package these, I will put all 4 in a diagonal pattern there. Wrap it up. So it's just like that, little sandwich. Do the exact same thing on the top side. So it's flipped over now. Little booties are up here on the top. So these are upside down. Putting it diagonal, wrapping it up again. Just like that. Stick it inside the box. And you can see there's a little bit of space in here. Fold this up in 4s. Stick it in the top. Mesh it around a little bit. If you got a business card, you can put your business card in there still. Close it up. You are protected. This ain't doing nothing. I have sent these through the mail just like this. Obviously the sticker, I put it on the inside when I'm shipping it out, but put the shipping label over the top, give it to the mail carrier. You're good to go. Anyway, I appreciate you sticking around, watching all the way to the end. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below and I will answer whatever. And then, like I said, if you want to see a video on pricing, let me know that too. Catch you on the next one.